So after that moment of frustration, we're going to now put some Hylamar on the gasket, and then we're going to try and fit that casing without breaking, well, without all the springs dropping out again. Now there is another part to it. This is equally frustrating. Oh, they're a nightmare, aren't they? I think I had about 6 goes trying to put that together. It just wouldn't have it. Put one piece in, the other piece would drop out. So we're going to put a little bit of Hylamar on there, put the top back on, don't let it dry out. Smidge it around with your fingers. Like that. Like that, like that. So it's all nice and even. Put the gasket on. The gaskets were all dry on here before. Now, this is the selector fork for the high and low range. Now, it had me a little bit puzzled, but I thought, oh, which way does it go on? But really it'll only go on one way. The bolt goes in from this way and it sits that way. So it can't go that way. So it can't go that way, it has to go that way. Bolt going in from this way. Is that right? Yes. So we're going to slip that in. Like that. And then, with a bit of luck, I'm just going to push that in and it's all going to fit. Or fall on the floor. One of the two. Because I got this in a vise still. There we go. Oh. So we're going to get that located on that and that's fallen down, so that's good. That's a good start. Just to make life a bit more interesting, we're working against a spring. Put that fork back in, make sure that the hole's at the right side, that would be most frustrating. There we go. Now we can sort of line that shaft up inside, bring it all together. Because you've got some big springs in there, eh? And you've got to compress them. Oh no, wait a minute. I think we're on that shaft now. Where, you know, there's like 4 drive teeth on the spline at the bottom here for this shaft. You've got to line that up. To go on. It's almost there. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we're in. Right, the eagle's landed. They are not easy. Yeah, most frustrating. So now we're going to fasten that up. That works. We'll put the drive screw, the screw through the back of here. This piece here, we'll put the bolt in. Probably lost it now. Oh, there it is. There's the bolt. That goes through this pinch here. At the top. Now we've got to make sure that that's in its right groove. But we'll work that out in a minute. Let's get these bolts tightened up around the front. I'll do that and then come back. Once this is bolted down and the pinch bolt's tightened up, now we can start to put some gaskets on. This one goes on the front oil seal cover. Just Spread it around with your fingers. Get nice and even. There we go. Now on the oil seal itself, we're going to put some grease. Because it's like on a V seal, so we want to get that some grease in there before we put the shaft on. Doesn't matter which way around this goes, it's the same. Then we're going to fasten that up. Put the cover on here with the gasket. Again, is that our, no, that's the top gasket. This is our gasket for here. A little bit of high-low sill. Again, don't take any chances. Now, when you do cork seals, don't over tighten them. A lot of people make fatal mistakes by over tightening these top bolts, and it makes a terrible mess. You know, that's sort of what happens, is they squidge out and they get thin and then they're no good. Let me get those bolts tightened up before this sealer dries. So we're going to tighten up this cover on the top. The front's done, just do it diagonally opposite. Like I say, when you're tightening down cork gaskets, just a little nip, that's all they need. They don't need to be like monster tight. You don't want to see them squidging out the sides, otherwise they'll leak eventually, because these are only on thin metal plates. This plate's only thin metal, and what it'll do is it'll bore and let the oil come out the side, so you can't win, can you? Next thing, our plunger and spring, pop that in, cover on. Always be careful of cross-threading this bloody aluminium stuff, it's horrible. Right. Now our next thing, whilst we're at the front, is to do these bits on here. Now, that's a bloody useless spanner. Here. You can remember this seal surface here wasn't the best. I'm going to try and clean it up with some 300 grit wet and dry. See if that'll clean it up. Indeed! In fact, it was 600 I cleaned it with. Lovely that. Pop that back in. Bit of grease on there. There you go. Eventually it goes in. Now, one of the problems associated with this front bearing sometimes is can be a bit of a bugger. This one's nice and tight, like radially, but if you've got problems with your prop shaft or your spline's worn or something like this, this goes eccentric. You know, there's an awful lot of force on that. So a nice balanced prop shaft with no loose play will keep this bearing and keep the mechanic away. That's good. That I just made that up. Now, the next thing. We need one of these. No, it's not just a plastic bag. These were missing. These are the seals. It's like a felt but wax impregnated, and it goes in the spline in here because it's quite deep. Now they are quite tricky to get in because you've got to sort of line them up a bit. Yeah. Where the hell is that going to go in? See if I can pull that off and fit it. Dear me. There we go, let's get a start on it like that, look. So that's how they go in. You get a jump on it like that, look, and then when you put the washer on it, we're kind of easy. Now we have to mess about trying to line that spline up again. Come on. These old square splines are nightmares to do. God, I wish I left it alone now. There we go. Oh, it's pushed it out again. Isn't that great? I think we've got to start on it though, that's alright. Now, where's the nut? There's the nut. Where's the washer? There's the washer. Now this one, we're just going to sort of nip it down by hand for now. Very slowly, so we can pull that seal in. If you remember when we took it apart, that wasn't in. There you go. So you don't want the seal coming out through the side, so that's going to be nice and tight. I haven't put the pin through yet, I haven't tightened it up, we'll do that once it's together. Oh, that's knocking away nice, that's good. Because it's like a dog clutch and it's got great big gaps between the teeth. That's the reason why that is. Now the next thing, we have to look at this bit quite seriously. This has got some damage here. We can get that out by banging a shaft down, but it's awfully rusty inside and it needs a coat of paint. So I think I'm going to put this through the sandblaster and then we'll have another look at it. I started sandblasting this and I thought this was dirt on it, and I was blasting and blasting away and there's actually holes in it, look, it's rusted through because of all the rust inside. So that's the one off this gearbox. Let's go and take the other one off and see if we can get anything better off it. No, this is the best we've got. They are available, but they're frightfully expensive. Well, there's not much we can do with it, so I'm going to try and knock that crease out of there and blast it a bit more. It's still a bit sticky inside, and see if we can resurrect this. We might just pack it full of grease and then it'll keep the water out. And again, this is going on the top like this, you know, that's going on the top of there. I don't think it'll be too much, and it's not going to go off-road or anything like that. It would be nice to get a new one, but I don't know, about $100, $150 or something for that piece. Right, let's see if we can knock these dents out. I was just reading through the manual there and I've jumped the gun a bit. I should have put this back end on first before the front end, because we set the preload on this shaft on the bearings without the front extension on. Anyway, I'll tell you a bit. There's no actual gaskets on the back, it's just shims, there's no gasket at all. But what we're going to do is we're going to bolt on this housing like so, well, with the gear, there we go. We're going to bolt it on and then check the preload. It might be okay. So let me put the ring of bolts around here and progressively tighten them up, and then we'll just check it anyway. But what you're supposed to do is put a cord round the shaft and pull it and measure how many pounds is on it. So yeah, let's do that. I'm sorry about that. So I wrapped a piece of cord round the shaft. I've got a spring balance. I've also taken off the front flange, because the oil seal would make a resistance. There's no flange on the back, and I pull it through and the resistance is supposed to be between 2 and 4 pounds according to the book. I don't think they had metric in them days, but anyway, that is spot on 4. So we're going to leave it like that. We'll tighten the bolts down, put the front pulley back up, front cover back on, front pulley back on, whatever it's called, shaft, flange, that's the word I'm thinking of. Square splines are always a bugger to get lined up. Come on. You think they're going to go on and then all of a sudden... There we go. on. Don't forget to take the string off. And then we'll give these a final nip down diagonally. Just make sure that they're all nipped down. Which they are. Again, they don't seem to put torques on anything, they just seem to, well, just tighten it down, tight torque. Right, that's that. Now, if there's any remaining bits of gasket on this face, now's the time to take it off and run your scraper across, or your dismantling tool, available from the shop, just across the face to make sure there's no raised portions of these threads, and if there is, just file them down, but these are quite good. So I think with that set up, what's next? I think we can put it on the gearbox because I don't think it's heavy enough. So, I won't do the front yet with the shafts and that little cover because the paint's still drying. So, let's flip it over. Now, we haven't mentioned this stud here. This stud here is for the adjuster for the reverse. I'm not really concerned about that at the moment. Now, here's something that we've got to really pay attention with. There's a dowel in here, and I think there should be another one here. And there isn't, or is that a bolt? But there's a dowel there, but not anywhere else. I'm going to check, because sometimes when you put odd casings together, because this was off the one from the States, I'm going to check the dowels in the gearbox that we're going to put in to make sure that they're all going to line up. I don't know if you can see this. This is why you have to check everything. See, there's two dowels in here, look. So we're going to take one of them out. We'll probably take that one out. And there is another dowel in the gearbox at the bottom, at the back side. So there's the dowels, look. One here, and we've got a replication there. So we're going to knock those out. Knock that dowel out. And then we'll put the gasket on. And we'll fit this gearbox. Just to knit these two together. And it's not the easiest thing in the world. Yeah, it's not easy, but it's doable. I have to turn me back to the camera for a little while, unfortunately, because, oh, wait a minute, maybe I can... Come on. There. There we go. Not the lightest of things, are they? So we'll run it down with a few bolts. A few nuts, and then we can start to put this back together, and we're almost done.